advised. Fog is lifting. Visibility is increasing.
What's up, Mac?
Party. Oh, hell yeah. It is a vibe. The lighting is right. The drinks are flowing. There's a good atmosphere in here. Yeah, the girls are hot. I'll take one of each, topless style. Now, we need to get ratchet. Oh, my. Yeah. Every time food comes out, send that sparkler and sign in, okay?
I like this part of it. Cheers for Vinny.
Lemon drop. Definitely no sugar in that. Another one. All right. It's cheat night, baby.
Why aren't you coming in tomorrow?
Not only is Vinny drinking alcohol, but he's also eating carbs. Yes, get it, Vin. Yeah, I like this, Vinny. I love this, Vinny.
After all these years, my man Vinny finally figured out how to eat the pizza the right way. If you look up the most ass way to eat a pizza in the dictionary is that. No, for real. Like, Vinny finally figured out how to eat the pizza the right way. If you look up the most ass way to eat a pizza in the dictionary is that. No, for real. Like, does anybody have a dictionary?
This guy eats 6 slices with straight pepperoni and cheese.
They're like 2 slices at once.
Chicken parm.
Oh, it's amazing.
You're really turning this day around, Vin. Here we go again.
Come on, guys, with some emphasis.
These Vinny signs are a bit much. He needs to get over himself. We all know that Vinny's obsessed with me, but like Vinny's way more obsessed with himself. And tonight is the night that I'm seeing it firsthand a lot. Yeah, I'm happy.
Oh, thank you.
Alright, man, this is awesome. Fire dancer is so... I mean, I don't know how she doesn't light her hair on fire. She's eating the fire. She's dancing with the fire. This girl's like a dragon.
I'm the best party planner.
Listen, this is good. I don't know, we started off wrong.
It's not a ghost tour.
I'm giving you props. This is Dina approved.
Hey, from the queen herself.
All right. I'll give you a pass.
For my planning
1
skills,
ton.
which means a ton coming from Lady Pinterest herself.
I like this place.
All right. Seeing that it's been day and all, my man never really gets a day, never really gets a party, so I just want to say a couple of things about this guy, but I want to take it way back to the day that we met. We went to the club, somebody bothered him, so I punched him in the face. Chill.
It takes 9,000 pressure to break a nose.
All these years later, I'm committed to this guy. He's the best side piece a man could ask for to Vinny.
Love you, bro.
Love you.
It's been a pleasure to be your sister wife.
I mean, chick.
Yo, I hate when the side piece and the main piece fight.
Love you, Nikki. Salute.
I just want to say, even though you're a pain in my ass.
Wow, thanks. Way to start with the speech.
I hate when the side piece and the main piece fight.
Love you, Nikki. Salute.
I just want to say, even though you're a pain in my ass.
Wow, thanks. Way to start with the speech.
I hope in the future you find a hot bitch that you want to. Yay!
Thank you.
I love you so much.
Alright.
We have a special bond here.
Hostile UAV in the area. You're losing ground. Enemy soldier incoming.
What's up, Mac? You still there, Mac?
Welcome to midday, everybody. I'm the best fighter ever. No wineries, no ghost tours. Love you, Dina. Midday, let's go. Oh, that's a big thing. We're gonna record that.
Vinny's like, I want to take it home. Of course you do. You want to put it on your wall. Do it too. I know. We all do. Definitely the only head Vinny's getting tonight.
Can you give me those sunglasses? The lighting in here is fire for an Instagram picture.
You have more money? Because I might be able to get a shot of you.
If it's not on the gram, it didn't happen.
French kiss, you sneak this, but that's a dick. I don't take it quick, pick. Your baby mama called me when she wants some quick.
I gotta give it to Nikki and Chris. The pictures are fire, okay? Exactly what I wanted. This is the perfect way to end a good night. And I'm proud of my roommates for sticking it out and having a good time. It's probably one of the most epic nights that we've ever had. Make everyone happy. Midday!
It was good. It was a good night.
Midday was dope.
Midday was terrible, but midnight was fun.
Well, it was a slow build, you know what I'm saying? Midday was so fun.
I had the best B-day ever. I had the best time of my life.
I got my first lap dance in a strip club by you.
Oh, babe. Benny, I love
Thank you, love you.
Ben, I have to tell you,
Well, what do you think about their offer?
I think you can never have too many zeros.
Hi, I'm Peggy. I'm 69 years old.
And Leslie, I'm 64.
Oh my God, we get to finally meet Angeline's
Micron.
Beyond Singer.
This is really the first time the squad is inviting significant others, so it will be very interesting to see what happens every single.
What's his first name?
Chris.
Oh, shoot, just like her.
Well, you're married to a Chris. He's dying to leave.
Put a ring on that. I like Angelina, but I'm still like, you crazy. Like, who actually wiped you up, girl?
I just want to meet a man that could
mean, I hope that everything's like drama free, but you know, you never know.
Hello, welcome to my street. What's up, man?
Hey.
You know, anytime, man. Thanks for coming. Hey, good to finally meet you. I heard so much about you.
Yeah, hopefully good stuff.
Yeah. Chris is definitely a Guido. Staten Island is here.
Chris, wanna try?
Totally.
You tired?
No, I don't want it. I don't want it.
Chris has to say something nasty.
No, thank you. I don't want it. I want to know what's in.
Jesus.
How long were you dating before you proposed?
No, we weren't dating a year. 7 months. It wasn't a year. Oh my God.
I don't know. Just creative.
I don't want it.
I have no idea what's going on here, but I feel like Angelina and Chris, they look like an old married couple. Not okay. Like, I feel very uncomfortable right now.
Ooh, that fight! Let Chris argue with the dirty hamster. I can have the night off tonight. I'm glad this guy is here.
All right, what are we saying?
What about the hot dog situation? In Manhattan, there was a hot dog. You ate the hot dog and I didn't even ask me if I wanted a piece of it.
Crazy. Angelina and Chris fight over hot dogs. To be honest, Big Daddy Sitch likes his foods, but I don't know if I'd argue about it.
All right, Chris, we have a question. And this is a compliment, because you seem like a normal guy. Why do you like Angelina?
Honestly, me and Angie kind of similar. She gets a little crazy, but she's not like that all the time. Sometimes she comes in, I think she tries to pull it off, but like, she means it from a good place. She always talks good about all you guys. That's the truth. She never said anything negative. Maybe Vinny a little.
So she, not to like throw you under the bus, was engaged a few times.
I was engaged before. You were engaged recently? No, I mean, what, 2
years
years ago?
recent.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've had 3. This is my 3rd.
Were you ever in like a long-term relationship before you got engaged, or were all 3 engagements under like a certain amount of time?
Sometimes it's not about how long you're with the person. It's about if you're
3 of them. I'm just wondering only because I don't know if it's like an insecurity thing. Like, do you feel like alone? Do you think like you need a guy?
I mean, it's not that I need a guy. I feel like
how's your relationship with your dad? Who's your dad?
my dad and me are, like, we're decent. My childhood was not easy. Our parents didn't have a good relationship. My father was a cheater. He was an abusive father.
Check your gear and weapons. We go soon.
Oh shit, here we go.
Enemy dropping into your AO.
Let's go,
Hostile dropping into the area. Watch the skies. Practice is over. The real fight begins now. Resurgence. Stay alive so time expires to secure secure redeployment. Earn points to speed up the clock.
My father, of course, because my father was always in and out of jail. When I was born, my father was in jail. He only had me because it was going to give him a lesser jail sentence. So he's like, oh, let me have a daughter with a woman that I don't know. That's what he thought.
That's your perspective. I mean, I'm not.
That's exactly what he told me that.
Hearing from Angelina, her daddy issues, heartbreaking because it makes sense as to why she's very codependent.
Now you get it, right?
I feel really bad for how I treated Angelina or judged her.
I didn't know you had such a rough childhood. I don't really talk about it too much. Chris never met my father. He still hasn't met my father.
So what makes you feel about Angelina? Like I feel it. Like this is the one. I'm gonna get down on one knee. Spend the rest of my life
We're together 24/7, and we're like best friends. Because of everything we do, we just get each other. We just like we really do love each other.
It's the last vagina you can have for the rest of your life, though.
It's real good, though.
I believe it. Same.
The fact that, you know, Chris is super cool and chill and is like okay with the fact that
I don't know where he was.
pretty weird.
What is she doing? This bitch comes out from the back of the stage, and I'm like, what is Angelina doing? Is she gonna perform? What is happening? So I'm having my wedding soon, and my girls are here, and I just come up and what are you doing?
I don't know what's going on. And now I'm worried because I'm like, what is this bitch about to do?
We have a lot nobody else will ever like realize. So I have my wedding coming on the show officially as these bitches to become
Angelina and I just got to like a really good place, but we got a history of arguing.
that is naked. Okay, mistake nasty.
All right. Get the highs, get the lows. I mean, 10 years and counting of like crazy roller coaster rides. I'll come over to you. It's weird. But at the end of the day, I do consider her family. I'm super excited to be Angelina's bridesmaid.
I love you. This is my best friend, guys.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. My best friend Janine, she's been through every breakup with me, every engagement that has broken my life. I've been engaged, it's my third time, but never, ever, ever got to the point where I'm actually trying on a wedding dress. Like, hallelujah, like, it's a miracle. So you excited to see some dresses? Very excited. Like, where do you start? There's so many, and there's a gown for everybody. Jesus.
Can I put you in something that shows a little skin?
I'm putting you in a princess ball gown.
Are you against or
That,
for
my nipples will show it.
nipples?
No.
Ooh, I finally get to see a nipple ring?
No. My dream dress would definitely be something like more fitted and something that would show off my curves. All right, I'm ready. Let's go. Oh gosh, I'm nervous. Cheers to Angelina. Cheers to Angelina.
How did you feel about all the other engagements she did? Like, did you know it? Like,
I
were you
knew
like,
it wasn't going to work out. Everybody she was with was sure. So this, you felt it. Like, when Chris and her, and even though, like, their communication, it's just simple. So, you know.
Yeah.
But,
Oh, okay, come on.
oh, I love this one.
She hates it.
It's like a stain and you're not
Oh, you look so hot in that. That is gorgeous.
Oh.
No.
Does it take the breath away? It doesn't take my breath away.
All right, so then that's not it.
Janine, next. When I walk down the aisle, I want Chris to cry. I want Chris's mom to cry.
Ew.
Nice, right?
That's freaking stunning. This is an Angelina dress.
I love this.
I'm getting getting like teardrops in my eyes. This must be it.
Yeah. Alright, this is the veil. Oh, yes, babe. I love it. You look like an antique Italian doll. Yes. Wow. Yeah. So I love it. Are you gonna cry? I'm gonna cry. Yeah, do you feel like you're gonna cry? Like the dress. Oh my god, this is it.
I wish your mom was here.
Yeah, I know. Well, at least you're like your closest friend. Oh, 100%. I feel amazing.
Then that's it.
This is the dress. When they say you know, that's the truth.
So wait, are you saying yes?
Saying yes.
Yes!
The subject of this week's Dark Side of the Ring, second to last episode of the season, was WCW Bash at the Beach 2000. A show that included a wedding gown match and a graveyard match. Nobody remembers that. What they remembered is the debacle involving Hulk Hogan, Vince Russo, and Jeff Jarrett. And Booker T winning his first WCW World title. And I thought I summed it up pretty well on Twitter the other day after I finished watching the episode. The only person that I have any real sympathy for coming out of this episode was Jeff Jarrett, who got caught in a situation having to lay down in the middle of the ring for Hogan. It was a situation that he did not want to be in. Vince Russo's whole shtick during his WCW run of breaking kayfabe and having the announcers go out on live television and shoot on people, breaking scripts and deviating the format and changing finishes on the fly. They would openly talk about this on the air. Was incredibly stupid. It was embarrassing. Eric Bischoff, he's so far up Hulk Hogan's ass, I'm surprised his nose hasn't turned a permanent shade of brown. And then there's Hogan himself. Hogan is what he is. Hogan has always been about one person, that is Hulk Hogan. That's what's allowed him to stay on top as long as he's been on top for. We knew that from the Starrcade 97 fiasco with Sting. That Hogan is all about Hogan. But I can't even blame him, because at the end of the day, WCW was stupid enough to give him creative control. So they got what they deserved. It's not unlike Vince McMahon giving Bret Hart creative control in the last 30 days or 60 days or whatever it was of his contract. You can't give talent that power and then turn around when they use it and play the victim. And it's frustrating to watch this episode because all of these people, they're all arguing over something that is so trivial in the grand scheme of things. And I can only imagine how many bros the producers had to edit out of this episode. I will tell you that there's a bunch that slipped through. Imagine the ones that didn't. They earned their pay on this one. But I will say, it was kind of nice to get a breather this week from the usual drugs and death that we get on Dark Side of the Ring. This wasn't so much the dark side of the ring as it was the disgraceful side of the ring. But Bash at the Beach 2000 was another in a very long line of embarrassing moments that this company suffered through in the dying days. It wasn't the final nail in the coffin like some people might suggest, but it was one of the many nails that went into the coffin of a company that at one time was on top of the world. They were number one. They had Vince McMahon back up against the wall, and then it all fell apart, largely due to their own mistakes. Although Vince McMahon and Vince Russo, to be fair, they had something to do with that too. And I will give Russo his props here at the start. He helped create a lot of very memorable moments during the Attitude Era that are still fun to go back and watch today. And he had the great fortune of writing television for people like Steve Austin and The Rock and Mick Foley and The Undertaker. They all would have become, the Undertaker was already a star, but the other ones, they all would have become big stars regardless. But it was those moments, like Austin riding a Zamboni out to the ring, or a beer truck, or Kane's debut in Hell in a Cell. Those moments still live on today. They're iconic. And it was part of Russo's philosophy of Crash TV. Crash TV over matches and work rate. It was about the characters, it was about the moments, and it worked. There were a lot of ideas of his, I'm sure, that were shot down or had to be reined in by Vince McMahon. He acted as a filter of sorts, but they made a great team there for a while, and I am forever grateful that I got to grow up a wrestling fan during that time. The Monday Night Wars, I mean, you had to do that kind of stuff to stop people from flipping over to the other show. Eric Bischoff, you know, if he didn't push for the creation of Monday Nitro, we may never have seen any of the stuff I just mentioned. It was Nitro going live every Monday night and Bischoff putting the luchadors and the cruiserweights on TV and the NWO angle. All of that helped the heights that it got to be in the way. He found the right formula. He found the right mix. And then there's Hulk Hogan. I may not be a wrestling fan right now were it not for Hulkamania running wild in the Yankees. So I recognize all of their contributions. But I can also sit here and say that doesn't make them good people, or people whose word I would take as the gospel truth on anything. There's Russo's truth, there's Bischoff's truth, and then there's the actual truth, which falls somewhere in the middle. The main talking heads in this episode were Russo and Bischoff. Jeff Jarrett was interviewed. Hulk Hogan was not, because I'm sure he said no when they asked him. Booker T was not, because Booker has said he doesn't want to be on any of these shows if they're going to be negative. Dave Meltzer was interviewed, as was Lance Storm, who worked for WCW at the time, although he had no direct involvement in what happened in Bash at the Beach. And this greatly bothered Vince Russo, by the way, who he saw an advanced copy of the episode on Monday. And he was on Twitter complaining about Lance Storm being included. He said, besides the fact that Lance Storm has been personally attacking me for 20 years now, simply because he didn't agree with the way I presented professional wrestling, I have to ask, why was he part of Vice's Bash at the Beach? He had nothing to do with anything. He knew nothing. So why was he on there? Once you see it, you can answer that for yourself. It's just how shit works. You just have to be smart. You don't have to be smart to anything. He was on the show to give the perspective of somebody working for WCW at the time, on that roster, who was watching like the other wrestlers were and had no idea what to believe. They were reacting to it just like the fans were. Because Russo's whole thing was, and maybe Bischoff's also, well, let's work everybody. Let's work everybody, including the boys, so they don't know if it's real or not. Yeah, working the boys, all that does, it breeds distrust in the line. I don't see how that's ever a good thing. But that was just one of the many reasons for all of the dysfunction in WCW at the time. But the other reason they probably interviewed Lance Storm and had him on the special was they interviewed Lance Storm probably for a few different episodes, including the Chris Candido one from earlier in the season. So when they sit these guys down, they have different topics. They're like, well, all we have, he was in WCW at the time. Let's ask him about this. So that's why they interviewed him. Yes, he was not directly involved in any of this, but he was looking on, probably wondering what the fuck is going on, just like the rest of us. Now, right from the start of the episode, we have Vince Russo telling us, I despise the wrestling business, bro. I despise the people in it. You cannot be a good person and exist in the wrestling business. You can't, bro. So we already got a couple of pros here just from the beginning. Yeah, he says there are no good people in the wrestling business, he says. Says the man who worked with Owen Hart, for example. You dumb bastard. He says he despises. He says he doesn't hate anyone in this or anything because it was just a job to him. So we're already getting double talk. We're not even 5 minutes into the episode, already the double talk is beginning. Then one of the producers asks Meltzer if he thinks Russo has done more harm or more good for pro wrestling. And the look on Meltzer's face was priceless. He sort of hesitated at first, and then he said, long-term more harm than good. And I think that's a fair assessment. Critically, in the short term might work, but when you do that, and you hotshot it, in the long term, you're making it more difficult to keep people tuned in. So yes, long term, I would say more harm than good. That sounds about right. Yeah, the best way that I would describe it is he offered something different at a time when they very much needed something different. Different does not necessarily mean good. Some of it was good, some of it was not good. But it was a different approach at a time that they desperately needed a different approach. And it worked. But what worked at it is not necessarily going to work for him. That's what Vince Russo did. Vince McMahon was stuck in the mud. Bischoff saw an opening and he took it. Yeah, they showed us the formation at the end of 12. They were off to the races at that point. That's when Vince McMahon elevated Russo, who up to that point had been writing for the magazine. He elevated him to a creative position, and Russo explained what the concept of Crash TV was. He said it was preventing the viewer at home from changing the channel to see what was happening on the other show. He said the idea was short match, backstage segment, and short match, fight in the back, and so on and so forth. That was the formula. He said they didn't want to give the viewer a chance to what was going on Nitro. And it made sense, because Nitro was kicking their ass for over 80 weeks. They were trying to figure out a way to get people to stop tuning in and stop changing the channel over to TNT. And by the end of 99, the glory period for WCW has long been over. They're losing money. Their budget was getting slashed. Bischoff was ousted from power. Meanwhile, WWE was adding 2 hours of television every week with SmackDown. Vince McMahon wanted Vince Russo to write SmackDown and Raw every single week. Him and Ed Ferrara. Russo goes to McMahon, and he tells him he wants to move his family closer to his wife's family because he's never home. And that's when Vince McMahon shot back with, well, Vince, you make enough money to pay for a nanny to watch your kids. And that was the straw that broke the camel's back for Russo. A week later, he was at WCW. And it was a big news story at the time when Russo and Ferrara, they jumped ship. So much so that WCW talked about their signing on the air, which was very awkward and unusual. To be talking about the writers on your show on television like they were, like you would think they were these big talent signings. And it's like, no, we have a new creative team here at WCW. And you look at the beginning of the Russo era, and some of the great ideas that either we got or almost got from Vince Russo during his WCW run. They included such things as Pinata on a pole with the Luchadors, a Judy Bagwell on a pole. Well, actually, a forklift. They said Judy Bagwell on a pole where Buff Bagwell would have to win if he wanted to get his mother back.
Resurgence window ending. Fire sales over.
Wanting to make Lance Storm, Eric Bischoff's illegitimate son, trying to make Tank Abbott a thing, and even wanting to make him WCW champion at one point, turning Mike Awesome into the fat chick Thriller, turning Bill Goldberg heel in 2000. That's just a small sampling of some of the wonderful ideas. And making David Arquette the WCW champion, that was something that Arquette himself, as a wrestling fan, thought was a stupid idea. But in fairness, that was actually a Tony Schiavone idea. Tony Schiavone's the one who came up with that idea. He pitched it to Russo. Russo was like, holy shit, I didn't even think of that. That's great. So Russo, in the end, he's the one that pushed it through. Nobody objected. And so we ended up with David Arquette as the WCW champion. But they were trying to throw shit at the wall at that point to see what would stick. So there were a lot of terrible ideas. But one thing that Russo has said he wanted to do, his philosophy, and focus less on the older guys like Hulk Hogan. Not get rid of them completely, but phase them down, push new stars. And I agree with him on that. The older names will only get you so far. Eric Bischoff noted that the narrative was that Hogan was too old and he had to retire, that the business side of wrestling still found a lot of value in Hogan. That was proven true when he went back to WWE. Hogan definitely still had value. There was money to be made with him. But he could not be the top star. His time had come and gone. He was not the top dog. When he went to WWE, he relented because I think he wanted to show that he could be a team player and he would, be on my best behavior. You want me to job to The Rock? I'll job to The Rock. You want me to job to Kurt Angle? I'll job to Kurt Angle. You want me to lose to Brock Lesnar on TV in a bear hug? I'll lose to Brock Lesnar on TV in a bear hug. And then by the end of 2002, he wanted to come back and beat Brock and get back to the belt at Madison Square Garden. card, that would have been ridiculous. So Russo claims he wanted to move away from the big names. He needed minutes. Even though, I do have to point out, he has admitted before to having had a meeting with the Ultimate Warrior after he came in to try to get him back into WCW. Very short, very disastrous run that the Warrior had in '98. Russo comes in, one of the first things he does, let's go meet with the Ultimate Warrior to try to get him in. And you know damn well that if he had convinced the Warrior to come back, Warrior wasn't coming back to put over a bunch of mid-card talents that Vince Russo wanted to elevate. So I don't know what his grand plan would have been. I think it was something about maybe pairing him up with Sting and kind of reuniting the Blade Runners.
What in the world? Wide receiver position. Wide receiver position is arguably the most important position in all of fantasy football this year. Here are wide receivers you need to target and avoid in fantasy football. Starting off with target Calvin Ridley. He was elite in Atlanta before he got suspended, and now he's entering the best situation he's ever been in. I think top 5 is definitely in the realm of possibility. Avoid DK Metcalf. He was the wide receiver 16 last year, and now he's being drafted as the wide receiver 16 again, despite the Seahawks adding JSN. This offense is already super run heavy. I'm off of him at his price tag. Target Amari Cooper. He puts up elite numbers every time he's healthy in fantasy football, and if Deshaun Watson can return back to normal, I think he'll put up elite numbers again in one of the most improved offenses in the NFL. Avoid Deebo Samuel. His rushing numbers were not there once Christian McCaffrey got there, and he did not play very well with Brock Purdy. I'd much rather take Ayuk or Kittle in the middle rounds. Target Brandon Ayuk. He was a wide receiver 10 from week 6 on last year. He's taken a step every year of his career, and according to Deebo Samuel, he's going to take another one this year. I love him in the middle rounds. Avoid Michael Pittman. Alec Pierce took over as the team's deep threat, and he's been getting a lot of the short intermediate work, which is not what you want with an inefficient Anthony Richardson at quarterback. Make sure you like and follow for daily fantasy.
The guy that I went on the first date with just texted me asking if I was home because he's dropping something off for me.
Listen, I know I pushed you after my match. I was frustrated after losing to Will Ospreay. I never should.
Perfect fire. When people call me a clown. Beep beep, Georgie. I come for you. I don't know if I get
POV. You try out a 6WW.
Love to see another day. It's been a while, y'all, but I'm back. New year, new me.
Hi there, welcome to Park Place McDonald's. We'll be with you shortly to take your...
It's been a while.
Hi, I'm Big One.
We truly believe that it was our destiny to not only win that game, but win out. I mean, we were thinking there's nobody that our defense can't stop. And to a certain degree, that was true. The thing that ended up biting us was we were a little bit cute in gotta-have-it situations. The whole stadium knows you're going to run the ball. We got a little bit cute. A lot of coaches are guilty of that nowadays. It's not a one-guy thing. And we didn't execute in the 4-minute situation. And I'd love to discuss it further here because I haven't rehashed it since. We truly...
Hey, buddy.
Charlie.
Ready for a fun weekend?
He's not going to have a fun weekend, Charlie. He's going to study for a history test on Monday.
Well, believing that gets you back in your car, I'll play.
Enemy soldiers incoming. Check weapons and gear. We're holding for deployment.
Wait, just a little bit.
And I do get tired from running with this dude. Okay. Here are 5 great sleeper wide receivers to target in the later rounds of your fantasy football drafts. First out, Nico Collins has been showing out as CJ Stroud's wide receiver 1 in practice and 6'4".
Stand by for deployment.
He was on pace for 190.
I just tried to give her $20.
You know, we had to do this together. We had to sit down.
I just tried to give her $20. I just tried to give her $20. Please send this to me. My phone number is 813.
You know, we had to do this together. We had to sit down together like this.
Resurgent. Provide the timer to secure redeployment. Earn points to speed of the countdown.
Her longtime boyfriend. The
boyfriend of this former A-list teen actress from multiple very hit shows is a few years older now, and he wants her to do OF and wants to manage it for her. This is allegedly Luke Edward and Ariel Winter.
Whatever the warrior would have been doing.
It's buttercream, time to a private dream. You wait to be found. Calling for your lover.
I guarantee you, he would not have been putting over people like Booker T on the roster, right? Or another one of Russo's ideas, the new version of the NWO, the whole NWO 2000 thing. They were supposed to feud with Goldberg until Goldberg put his hand through a limousine window that ruined whatever plans they had. But running the NWO back for the gazillionth time, I failed to see how that would have helped get any new stars over. So October of 1999, Russo comes in. He says in the first 3 months, the ratings were up. Meltzer says month to month, they were down. In the Nitro book by Guy Evans, which I consider to be the definitive WCW book because it has the actual numbers in there for all sorts of things, and interviews with Turner executives who in a lot of cases have never been interviewed about WCW before. It's a very comprehensive book, but it mentions that Nitro averaged a 3.25 Nielsen rating over the 9-week period prior to Russo and Ferrara coming in. It averaged a 3.21 rating over their first 9 weeks after they came in, which ultimately ended with Russo being sent home in January of 2000. While still under contract, he was basically paid to sit at home. So less than 4 months after he signed with the company and came in, he was removed as the head booker and the head writer by Brad Siegel and Bill Bush. Russo was not interested in this idea of working as part of a booking committee, so they sent him home. And then they ended up bringing him back a few months later to work with Eric Bischoff because they didn't want to pay him just to sit at home and do nothing. And yes, the ratings did go down after Russo went home, and they never recovered. Now, was that a product of his vision starting to work? Were the numbers going down and staying down a product of just finally driving away so many viewers that they were never going to come back? Probably a little bit of both. I know the Thunder ratings on Thursdays started ticking up a little bit during those early Russo shows. Would it have lasted? Who knows? He was never going to recapture that the glory days that he had with WWE when they were posting 5s and 6s every week on cable. But the numbers going down and staying down until the company died was a sign of just how much of a mess had been made of things by that point. Russo and Bischoff, they come together and they do a hard reset. They stripped all of the titles from all of the champions. They started this old versus new angle, the New Blood against the Millionaires Club, which were all of the older veteran guys, like a WCW Civil War. Russo said the whole thing was destined for failure. Eric wanted to be in charge again because he wasn't quite in that executive position he used to be in. So, in his mind, Eric just wanted to be in charge again. Bischoff said he knew Russo was a bullshit artist. He wanted nothing to do with his ideas. So, you're listening to this. This sounds like a wonderful working relationship between these two. We skip ahead to Bash at the Beach. Russo claims the week of the show, he's asking around in the production meeting, if you could make anybody the WCW champion right now, who would it be? And unanimously, everybody said Booker T. So Russo said, well, that's what we're going to do. We're going to put the belt on Booker T. David Penzer, he worked for WCW at the time. He was the ring announcer. He had said that Terry Taylor told him to call Booker that Thursday before the show to tell him that he was winning the title and to tell him to bring a suit with him to Nitro that Monday. So the plan was to get the belt on Booker, and this was something that was established at least days in advance. Jeff Jarrett was the champion at the time. He had beaten DDP to win the vacant belt back in April. Then he beat Kevin Nash at the Great American Bash. And the plan was for him to beat one more legend, that being Hogan, before dropping the belt to Booker. Russo says the main event for Bash at the Beach was penciled in as Jeff Jarrett against Booker T, with Booker going over, even though earlier on that same show, Jarrett would be defending the belt against Hulk Hogan. He says he wrote it to make sure Hogan looked strong in the match, but he was not going to win the championship. Bischoff says that he and Hogan had a different idea, and what Russo wanted didn't matter because Hulk had creative control. And then we got Jarrett talking about there being a conflict of interest when talent has creative control in their contract. I fucking died listening to this, thinking back to the early days of TNA, that Jeff Jarrett would be railing against the idea of creative control and somebody putting themselves over. Now that's fucking funny. That's fucking funny. What happened is this. Russo's initial idea, 2 days before the show, as relayed to John Laurinaitis, to have Laurinaitis then relay it to Hulk Hogan, was that the match would end in a disqualification after outside interference. That would keep Hogan strong, but the belt would stay with Jeff Jarrett.
I heard him come up the stairs.
Immediately shot down. So Russo goes back to
I knew that boy was up that stairs, but I was trying to...
His second idea was to get Hogan to look even stronger. And he would lay waste to more than one person. In the episode, he mentioned Scott Steiner. But still, in the end, there would be no title change. And according to Russo, he was told Hogan loved it. But then late in the day that Friday, this is the Friday before the pay-per-view, Hogan had his lawyer fax a letter to WCW offices. And it may have come in after hours when nobody was there, but he faxed a letter to WCW offices changing his mind on the outcome, letting them know. The fax in question never got to Russo, who got to the show that Sunday with no knowledge of any fax ever being sent because it was never relayed to him. He claims he was never even aware of the fax until the deposition in Hogan's lawsuit. The idea was Hogan would take the belt home with him. This would then set up a tournament to crown a new WCW World Champion, prompting Hogan to make his big return right before Halloween Havoc. If not at Halloween Havoc, I've heard some conflicting language used, whether it would be on the pay-per-view or right before the pay-per-view, but let's say at Halloween Havoc. But it would result in a champion against champion.
Spark your summer with Golden Island. Made for delicious flavor. This is no ordinary meat snack. No matter where you're from,
So that's Bischoff's version of events as relayed to Guy Evans for his Nitro book. Some parallels there to what AEW is doing right now with CM Punk, calling himself the real world champion, running around with a second belt. Russo's version is that they still cannot come to an agreement on what to do. So he suggested, in front of Hogan and Bischoff, he claims, he suggested that he's going to cut a scathing promo on Hogan after the Jarrett match. And in that promo, he would set up a match between Booker T and Jeff Jarrett, with Booker winning the belt. And the book summed it up pretty well this way, that the Hogan-Jarrett match ended up merging elements of the Montreal Screwjob, the finger poke of doom, and the angle from Halloween Havoc the year before, where Hogan laid down for Sting in the middle of the ring and then he just walked out. I remember that. Hogan walked out in street clothes. They were playing his, Real American or American-Made song. He comes to the ring and he lays down for Sting, and Sting pins him, and Hogan gets up and he leaves. That was the first pay-per-view of the Russo era. And it also happens to be one of the worst WCW pay-per-views of all time. Halloween Havoc 99. Seriously, he booked a Hogan versus Sting match for the title on pay-per-view, and that is how it ended. So this finish here blended that and the others together in this sort of putrid soup of bad ideas. Bischoff disputes that Russo ever made such a hit to him, or to Hogan. He calls Russo a liar. Hot meat kettle. In the episode, it's an hour before showtime, that Russo is pissed because here he thought he had this DQ finish agreed to for the Jarrett match. And now Hogan wants to leave the belt, so she's changing things.
Get after it. Be advised, Resurgence is no longer active. This is for keeps. Enemy UAV active. Supply crates have been restocked. Load up. Less than 25 were still standing. The enemy took that one, but we will be back to finish the job.
Colaboraciones. El lector es Alucard y Spam. Fantasma.
Holding for deployment. Take this time to warm up. Enemy soldier incoming. Preparation is done. Now you deploy to the war zone.
Get ready, 5 seconds.
Resurgence. Stay alive till time expires to secure redeployment. Earn points to speed up the clock. Hostile dropping into the area. Watch the skies. Hostile UAV in the area. Fog is lifting. Watch for enemy movement. Enemy UAV overhead. Gas is closing in. Stand by for redeployment. Enemy UAV active. Loadout drop headed your way. Hostile UAV in the area. Enemy dropping into the AO. Enemy soldier incoming. Target group has been marked. Kill them all. You're getting another chance. Make it count. Hostiles dropping into the area. Watch the skies. Gas is inbound. Get ready. You're redeploying. Enemy UAV active. Enemy soldier incoming. Stand by for redeployment. You fought hard out there. Return to base for debrief.
But listen, it's been getting real hectic out here, bro. They got shit in pain, bro.
Warm up while you can. We will deploy soon. Enemy dropping into the AO. Warm-up is over. Stand by for deployment to the war zone.
Stand by to deploy.
Resurgence. Survive the countdown to earn redeployment. Secure kills to speed up the timer.
Enemy UAV overhead. Hostile UAV in the area.
Enemy soldier incoming.
Enemy UAV active.
Enemy dropping into the AO. Got gas moving in. Hostile dropping into the area. Watch the skies. Enemy soldier incoming. Got a loadout drop inbound. Kill confirmed. We've located the rest of them. Time for vengeance. You redeploy.
Enemy UAV overhead. Hostile UAV in the area. Enemy UAV active. Enemy UAV overhead.
Hostile dropping into the area. Watch the skies. You're losing ground. Enemy dropping into the AO.
Hostile mortar strike near your position.
Get ready. You're redeploying. Fire sale active. Buy station prices have been reduced. Hostiles dropping into the area. Watch the skies.
That could have been bad.
Marked remaining operators from that squad. Hunt them down. Resurgence is about to end. Make it count. Fire sale's over. Adjusting prices. Gas is moving.
Hostile UAV in the area.
Marking the rest of that squad on your TAC map. Get hunting.
Enemy UAV overhead.
Enemy dropping into the AO. Resurging. Go get your revenge. Resurgence has been deactivated. This is the endgame. All stations, a jailbreak is active. Heads up, a jailbreak is active. We lost that one, but we'll come back stronger next time. You got gas moving in. Check weapons and gear. We're holding for deployment. Enemy soldier incoming. Enemy dropping into the AO. Training is over. Time to see what you have learned.
Seconds to the release point!
Resurgence. Survive the timer to secure redeployment. Earn points to speed up the countdown. Enemy soldier incoming. Bounty targets identified. You are clear to engage. Gas is closing in.
Enemy counter UAV is active.
Primary objective complete. All targets eliminated. Loadout drop headed your way. Hostile dropping into the area. Watch the skies.
Hostile UAV in the area. Hostile counter UAV overhead. Enemies deployed a counter UAV.
We're detecting vulnerability in the enemy's network. Locate their uplink stations and secure their intel before they go offline. Kill confirmed. We've located the rest of them. Marked remaining operators from that squad. Hunt them down. You're back on station. Get after it. You fought hard out there. Return to base for debrief. Use this time to practice. We will be deploying soon.
Oh, get up there! Get up there!
Enemy soldier incoming. Hostile dropping into the area. Watch the skies. Enemy dropping into the AO. Practice is over. The real fight begins now.
Get ready to jump. 5 seconds.
Resurgence. Stay alive till time expires to secure redeployment. Earn points to speed up the clock. We are returning you to the front. Earn this. Hostile dropping into the area. Watch the skies.
Enemy UAV active. Hostile UAV in the area.
Enemy soldier incoming. Good kill. Marking the rest of that squad on your TAC map. Get hunting. Gas is inbound.
Enemy UAV active. Enemy UAV overhead. Enemy UAV active. Hostile UAV in the area.
You've got a loadout drop inbound.
Enemy UAV overhead.
Enemy dropping into the AO. You're getting another chance. Make it count.
Enemy UAV active.
Stand by for redeployment.
Enemy UAV overhead. Hostile UAV in the area. Enemy UAV overhead. Enemy UAV active.
You've got gas moving in.
Hostile UAV in the area. Enemy UAV active. Hostile UAV in the area.
Enemy soldier incoming. Fire sale is active. Buy station prices are adjusted.
Enemy UAV overhead.
Enemy dropping into the AO. Get ready. Resurgence window is about to close.
Enemy UAV active. Hostile UAV in the area.
Fire sales done. Prices are back to normal.
Enemy UAV overhead. Enemy UAV active.
Gas is closing in. Target down. Marking the rest of them.
Hostile UAV in the area.
Resurgence has closed. No more second chances.
Enemy UAV overhead.
Hostile dropping into the area. Watch the skies. Only 25 left. Keep up the good work.
Enemy UAV active.
Enemy UAV overhead.
Hostile mortar strike incoming.
You're losing ground.
Enemy UAV overhead.
Queda un rato y no sé nada, se está curando. No mames, qué mamada, esta pinche juego de mierda. Y la mató el güey que me mató y que yo estaba busque y busque.
UAV in the area. Enemy UAV overhead. Hostile mortar strike in the area.
You've made it to the top 10. Gas is inbound.
Enemy UAV active.
Oh. Only 10 remained.
I took care of
It was
that
hard that
mongrel.
time, but we will settle the score. Your squad is in the top 5. Let's get it done. Enemy dropping into the AO. Check your gear and weapons. We go soon. Hostile dropping into the area. Watch the skies. Enemy soldier incoming. Enough training. Now we face the enemy for real.
Five seconds!
Resurgence. Survive the timer to secure redeployment. Earn points to speed up the countdown. Enemy dropping into the AO.
Hostile UAV in the area. Enemy counter UAV is active. Hostile counter UAV overhead.
Resurging. Go get your revenge. Enemy soldier incoming. The enemy took that one, but we will be back to finish the job. Check weapons and gear. We're holding for deployment. Hostiles dropping into the area. Watch the sky. Enemy dropping into the AO. Warm-up is over. Stand by for deployment to the war zone.
Get ready to jump. 5 seconds.
Resurgence. Survive the countdown to earn redeployment. Secure kills to speed up the timer. The fog is lifting. Expect increased visibility.
Enemy UAV overhead.
Gas is moving. drop on the way.
Enemy UAV active. Hostile UAV in the area.
Hostile dropping in the area. Watch the skies. Enemy destroyed. Use your TAC map to hunt down the rest of them.
Enemy UAV active.
Enemy soldier incoming. You've got gas moving in. You're getting another chance. Make it count. Hostile dropping into the area. Watch the skies. Learn from the loss. Failure is a wise teacher. Enemy dropping into the AO. Warm up while you can. We will deploy soon. Enemy soldier incoming. Enough training. Now we face the enemy for real. Resurgence. Stay alive till time expires to secure redeployment. Earn points to speed up the clock. Hostile dropping into the area. Watch the skies. Enemy soldier incoming.
Enemy UAV overhead. Enemies deployed a counter UAV. Hostile counter UAV overhead.
Enemy dropping into the AO. Gas is inbound.
Counter UAV.
Get ready. You're redeploying. Hostiles dropping into the area. Watch the skies. loadout drop inbound. The enemy's network. Locate their uplink stations and download their intel before they lock us out. Kill confirmed. We've located the rest of them. We are returning you to the front. Earn this.
Enemy counter UAV is active.
Time for vengeance. You're redeploying. Be advised, there is an enemy squad hunting for you. Enemy resecured their network. It's over. $25 remain. Solid work so far.
Hostile UAV in the area.
Watch your 6. Resurgence window is ending. Enemy soldier incoming. Gas is moving.
Enemy UAV overhead. Enemy UAV active.
No!
The enemy lost track of you. You're safe. Marked remaining operators from that squad. Hunt them down. Enemy dropping into the AO.
Hostile UAV in the area.
Resurgence has been deactivated. This is the endgame. You were one of 25 remaining. You fought hard out there.